everybody. I just thought that I would do a quick check-in with you all on how the first week of school went. We are in week 2 of school already. I can't believe it. And I've had some goals that I had set in my first classroom tour video, some odds and ends that I wanted to just really be intentional about the school year, and one of them was keeping my desk decluttered. And I just want to say I've actually been doing a really good job of keeping down the paper monster and keeping him in the trash and recycling where he belongs. I do have my grading right here, and this is about how much I have today, and I've been doing pretty well keeping up with my grading. Where I'm getting behind is students who are already submitting work late or having trouble submitting work, or whatever their excuse might be. I'm already having trouble keeping up with that and getting that in. And I've put a new policy in place that if it's not in by midnight on Sunday night and it was due the week before, then it's a 0, because I just cannot keep going back in and updating grades. And students also need to learn some responsibility as freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and high school. So that's my first thing to help tame the grading monster, is to just be very firm in my policy. And then also I'm being very intentional. I've been getting my papers each period and grading them. And I just came in early this morning to get ahead on some of my grading. It worked out really well. I actually got all caught up this morning, and my hope is to do the same thing tomorrow morning. Let's talk about my data, however you say it, wherever you're from. I am so proud of myself. I did a pre-assessment for my freshman English class, and I got all my data analyzed today, so I know where their strengths and weaknesses are. If you teach English, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But one of the things that my students struggle with is actually the types of conflict, like character versus self, character versus society, which I was kind of surprised, but that seemed to trip them up in the pre-assessment, as well as the use of semicolons and colons. Now, that I expected. And then French, my absolute favorite. Let's talk about IPA, so Integrated Performance Assessment. So I'm going to show you my screen, the same program for all 3 of my French classes right now, but I am just tweaking it to make it harder for French 3 and easier for French 1, and my French 2s are in the middle, obviously. So if you can see my screen, I got this off of Teachers Pay Teachers from a seller named Madame Shepard, and she actually, I would say that IPAs are her specialty. And so it starts off with an introduction, and then each slide or 2 slides is like a 1-day lesson if you have a 50-minute to 60-minute class period. So it has the can-do statement at the top, which I absolutely love. And then it has watch this video to learn some French greetings. And if you click on that, it links to a YouTube video. And then the song links to another YouTube video. And then the document is like a closé, and the students fill in the blank as they listen to the song. This is conversation prompts for students. And then the speed friending activity went really well. I did it with 2 of my 3 classes, French 1 and French 2. And basically what the students did was they had a paper that had 5 different emojis on it, and each emoji represented a different emotion, like ça va mal, things are going bad, or ça va bien, things are going well. And they had to ask each of their classmates, ça va, and then their classmate had to respond. So it was a really good speaking activity, even for French 1s, they got into it. I'm really proud of my kids. They just jumped in head first, all the way. And it's one of the reasons why I like the integrated performance assessment preparation. So this is scaffolded. So they've learned their basic greetings, and then now we're working on basic numbers. And I've always taught French in such a linear fashion where I was okay, here's your pronouns, here's your numbers. And instead we're learning sentences. Tomorrow we're going to go over age and how to say your age and putting numbers into context like that. And then the final assessment for this, so there's about 10 lessons in this. Some of those lessons take more than 1 day. We'll have our IPA, and here is what we'll be doing. So they'll have an interpretive task where they will read an authentic French document, which is actually a school supply list, and it looks like this. And then they will answer the questions about it, so that's the interpretive. And then they will have an interpretive listening task, and it has them listening to a video, but I'm sure if I needed to, I could also adapt that and have them listen to me instead. An interpersonal task where they role play with one of their classmates, and then finally their presentational task. And that is where they create a shopping list of school supplies. And then I believe they have to use color with it. So with the colors comes in agreement, right? Adjective agreement. For my fellow French teachers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So you're teaching them gender and plural, but they're also learning colors, and they're all learning this in one context of school supplies, greetings, and numbers all at the same time. So it's not quite so linear and so like secluded, like here's numbers, here's colors, which I feel like is how a lot of French curriculums have been set up over the last probably 3 to 4 decades. And like I said, I think there is a time and a place for some of that. But I just was so tired of teaching it that way that I'm really loving this. It's taking some getting used to on my part. And day to day, it takes a little bit more work for me because I can't just pull out my old stuff and just like, all right, here you go, like linear fashion. Instead, I'm having to like be very intentional and take a little bit more time to look over what we're doing that day, which is fine. It's working out fine. I'm still doing some of my old methods. Like I still give them vocabulary lists like this. And they write the vocab 3 times French, 1 time English. And then I make that worth 100 points because I feel like if you don't have the building blocks of vocabulary, how are you ever going to learn a language? So I really emphasize the importance of that. And where I got that idea was actually from my French teacher in high school. That's how she did it. And I thought that was really good. And actually the kids like it. They don't complain. They're like, oh, vocab, 100 points. Yes, we'll do it. And it even helps the kids who don't enjoy French or don't feel like they're going to get a good grade in it feel good because it's something easy that they can do, that they can accomplish to bring their grade up if they failed like the past 3 quizzes. Yeah, so that is about it for where we're at with my classes right now. Here's a look at my desk at the end of the day. Not bad at all. Look, empty area. I'm going to put this away, and I got my mask there. These are my lesson plans. You can see I'm already like scratching stuff off, like, okay, I don't want to do that, did this. And I always keep a paper copy of my lesson plan on my desk. Even though I'm in my 9th year of teaching, I just really love having a paper copy in front of me and checking stuff off so I don't forget what I've done with one class versus another class. If you teach 3 levels of French or 3 levels of Spanish a day, you know what I mean. Sometimes you get mixed up. You're like, okay, did I do that with this class or did I do that with the French 2s? All right, guys, that's it. I would love to go more in detail with you on some of my IPA stuff, and then my PBL I'm doing with my French 3s is in November. I look forward to that. We'll be starting at the end of October though. Yeah, so please subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. I would love to have 1,000 subscribers. I just think that'd be the coolest thing ever. And take care, everybody, and God bless.